It's the 2020 Sakhir Grand Prix. We remain at the Bahrain International Circuit, though, on the outer loop. Lewis Hamilton has won 11 times this year, but he will not take part in this weekend's Grand Prix due to the COVID-19 pandemic and him catching the virus, which means we could be looking at a fifth different winner in 2020. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Hamilton, luckily, is already the champion. 332 points, is that how much it's going to be his total this year? Valtteri Bottas has held off second place away from Max Verstappen. However, that gap could close down in this weekend and next in Abu Dhabi. Daniel Ricciardo is in the fight for fourth place, just 2 points clear of Sergio Perez, who himself is 2 clear of Charles Leclerc after an impressive race last time out. Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz battling for supremacy at McLaren after a double points finish last time, followed by Alexander Albon now in 9th and Pierre Gasly now in 10th. The fight for 4 increasing to 6 drivers. Lance Stroll remains in 11th place on 59 points. Esteban Ocon is on 42. Vettel 13th on 33 points. Dani Kvyat, Nico Hülkenberg, Kimi Räikkönen, Antonio Giovinazzi, Romain Grosjean not racing this weekend for obvious reasons, Kevin Magnussen, Nicholas Latifi, and George Russell, now driving for Mercedes, stands his first ever chance of scoring a World Championship point. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes have already wrapped that up. 533 points to Red Bull's 274. It's really the battle for third. McLaren, with a fantastic result last weekend, has propelled them into third place, way ahead of Racing Point, and Renault are playing catch-up. Ferrari now out of the game for third. AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, 7th and 8th. Haas, and there's still no points on the board for Williams, although Russell might get some from Mercedes. It's the 2020 Sakhir Grand Prix at the Bahrain International Circuit, and this is Free Practice 3. Let's take a look around the Bahrain International Circuit outer loop, the first time we've ever used this configuration. Starting on the F1 2020 game on the new normal track, hurtled down the usual start. Finished 1, a heavy braking zone after a long DRS detection point. From 8th gear, late braking down into 2nd gear, about 70 miles an hour. Accelerate and compromise the exit of turn 2 to get a good run out of turn 3. Pay respects to Romain Grosjean and his horrific accident. How he managed to get out of that, we don't know. Now, let's switch back to the 2010 game on the old circuit that we used to use. Uphill, past now the tricky outer loop section into the chicane. It's bumpy, it's been resurfaced in parts, but the braking zone for the chicane is almost invisible. Hurtle out now, full speed. Ignore the barrier, flash back to 2020, and you're down the back straightaway, out of what is now turn 9, and down towards turn 10, 11. The last 2 corners on the track, another DRS zone, hard on the brakes, full power once again. It is an incredibly short lap, around 55 seconds, but still, it's going to be a very chaotic Grand Prix. Hello everybody and welcome up to the commentary box for Free Practice number 3 for the 2020 Sakhir Grand Prix. We're about to be joined by our radio listeners as well as the world feed intro is on. So if you're watching along after we stop talking, we will start again when it fades to the world feed pictures. Alongside me in the commentary box is Megan Birch. Megan, a quick word from you. We've got 15 seconds. Today's qualifying is going to look dramatic and certainly going forward into the session, but we've run out of time. So here we go then. Welcome the radio listeners. It's in the middle of a desert. It's the second one out of 3. It's time for Jewel in the Desert Part 2. Welcome to Super Saturday at the Rolex Sakhir Grand Prix at the Bahrain International Circuit, the 16th round of the 2020 FIA Formula One World Championship. And this place is absolutely awesome. We just saw the Formula 2 race a few moments ago, to which it is still close. Yuki Tsunoda winning. Mick Schumacher 14 points ahead of the championship. But it proves that this circuit that goes round on itself, more like any other Formula One racetrack in the world, is going to be very dramatic for qualifying. To help them, the soft, the medium and the hard tyres, C4, C3, C2 in that order. The red soft, yellow medium and white hard tyre going forward. Expect to see as the sun sets for free practice 3. We're under the lights already with air temperature at 24 degrees, track temperature at 29 degrees. Expect to see Megan Birch alongside me in the commentary box. This is going to be a practice session like no other, as they've now got to get out there and find the time for qualifying around a 54-second lap time yesterday.
Yes, and it's according to Russell, he is doing extremely well in Mercedes.
Yep, first sessions in the Mercedes yesterday, topping the board of Q1 and, well, FP1 and FP2. Bottas, 4th in FP1, 11th FP2. Me and Dad were talking yesterday about, is that really going to be a psychological blow to Bottas that Russell's literally got in the car, he's immediately faster?
I don't think it will be. I mean, he knows that Russell is quite good, though it's just the car manufacturer that really puts him down on the grid.
Yeah,
Though
with the Williams.
I also think that if ever Lewis or Bottas
Retired
and went out Mercedes, then I think it would be Russell in that spot instead.
Toto Wolff have literally put George Russell in this weekend to see what he can do and sort of, as Karun Chandler suggested, act as leverage in the negotiations between Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes, saying, well, if you don't want to sign, this kid can do it just as good as you can. And the worst thing Lewis Hamilton would want is the fact that if George Russell comes into his team, into his specific car, he comes into that team, his own car, and wins on his first attempt, because that then will show everybody will start to think Lewis isn't as good, it's just the car, when it's simply not the case.
Yeah, and I mean, they're both extremely good.
Yes.
And I think if they were teammates, then, it'll be like rivalry like
Hamilton and Rosberg before, and Villeneuve and Hill and Villeneuve and Schumacher. I mean, the thing we've also got to remember is, as you said, that he's extremely good. He's a GP3 champion, George Russell. He's a Formula 2 champion. And we've seen him constantly this year outperform that Williams and get it into qualifying 2 on about 9 occasions.
Do you know he's never been out-qualified by his teammate? Ever.
I did, yeah. So that's another thing that Bottas will have in his mind, especially after seeing free practice 1 and 2.
He's just like, we're definitely not going to win this.
It's going to be a very interesting one. Danny Kvyat looking on as well. The big one today, though, will be the fact that Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris didn't have much time going into yesterday's session, because a drive shaft issue for Charles Leclerc only meant he did 2 laps in free practice 2, whereas for Lando Norris, the damaging of the floor meant he only did 14 laps yesterday, so he's got a lot of work to do coming up. We're about 26 seconds away from the green light for the last practice session. And Megan, qualifying later is just going to be dramatic. Jack Aitken said that if you put all 20 cars out on the track in Q1, you'll only have a gap of 3 seconds between each. It's insane, this track. As there's Romain Grosjean with his wife Marion watching on, so we know that he's perfectly okay. But Megan, Q1 later is going to be insane, isn't it?
It is, and it's glad to see him up and about, and that his ankles aren't as badly burned as before, and it's just mainly his hands.
And he's looking to be back in the car at Abu Dhabi. However, he is firmly understood that the burns might stop him racing in Abu Dhabi, but he is fighting to get back in the car and putting everything he can out on it. So Pietro Fittipaldi heads out onto the track then in the Haas on the soft compound tyre. It's nice to see Grosjean in the paddock after a week ago. I know Martin Brundle's done a 40-minute interview with him. That snippets will be aired throughout the weekend, and the whole thing will be available in a few days' time online on YouTube, I believe. But this is going to be the big one for him going in. Look, that was only a few moments ago. The sun has set, the darkness has descended, and practice 3 that last weekend, Megan, where it was a bit pointless because it was in the day, all sessions are taking part in the night, and it really is crucial to get everybody back on track, isn't it?
It feels strange to see Fittipaldi on that board.
Fittipaldi out on the circuit as well. Back out, he's the 5th generation of Fittipaldi to come in as well. He's the first ever grandson of a world champion to race as well. Grandson of Emerson Fittipaldi. And we're just having a look as he comes into the last corner. He's the only car to head out onto the track at the moment. It's 2.2 miles, Megan. 55 seconds a lap. How many laps are you predicting we'll see in qualifying? Already in the sessions, we've been seeing quite a number of lap times in free practice. Jack Aitken and Pedro Fittipaldi yesterday doing over 90 combined, which is over the race distance. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be where and when and how going forward.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I also think there'll be a bit of a fight between Fittipaldi and Russell.
Russell?
Yeah.
Haas versus Mercedes. You mean Aitken?
No, Russell.
Russell's in a Mercedes, Fittipaldi's in a Haas.
Yes.
Where on earth are you going with that one?
I'm hoping there's like conflict.
How?
It's like faster.
Yeah, Russell's faster than Fittipaldi.
I know, but I just want literally conflict.
There's not going to be any conflict between Russell and Fittipaldi.
There better be.
I'll be very surprised if Fittipaldi wins as well. I'm already having to wear a Williams shirt tomorrow because Russell will qualify into Q3 for the first time, so I lost that bet.
Yeah, though, is he technically Williams right now?
I said Russell or Latifi get into Q3. Didn't specify team. So I lost
You should have.
before the end of the season, so I lost that, didn't I? So I'm going to have to wear the Williams shirt tomorrow. So tune in for that. I'm going to be cold. It's a short sleeve shirt as well in the commentary box.
You
I'm
can
going
wear
to
a
be cold.
jacket.
No, I can't. I'll wear it. I'll be fine. I'll be shivering though at 7 o'clock in the evening.
Would you
UK
rather
time.
get a cold?
I'd rather. I'm wearing it for a bet, so I'll have to. I lost it. I didn't expect Hamilton to get COVID though and Russell to replace. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, damn. I was hoping nobody would pick up actually on that fact. That I said it was just one of the two. Fittipaldi saying that the balance is pretty good on the car, and he's just having to get used to the speed. So he's having to get used to the speed of the car again, but the balance is the setup is practically okay. So that's good for him
I'm
then.
gonna sit down.
As Lando Norris heads out onto the track as well. And Lando, of course, you have to remember, out of the most of the session yesterday with a floor issue, and he's not in a hurry to get out on the track right now, is he?
No.
And the car looks ready, but no one in a hurry apart from Fittipaldi to head out there. And I think it's because it's a 55-second lap time. So if you go out now and don't come into the rest of the session, you'll do 55 laps. It's too much mileage on the engine if you think about it.
Yeah. Fittipaldi's just like, okay, I just want to get out here, then I can just be free for the end of the session.
Yeah, just sort of get used to it again. I'm surprised Jack Aitken hasn't gone out, really. He's down in 19th place and needs the mileage as they both enter their first qualifying. If Aitken out-qualifies Latifi, and if Aitken manages to get into qualifying 3, that is going to be insane. But anything can happen, although we are expecting who's going to be where. Russell, however, is top dog for pole position after yesterday's times. Bottas did set the quickest time in free practice 2 of a 53.2. However, he did have that lap time deleted for running off the track at turn 8. And Russell himself said as well, he would only be a tenth quicker anyway. That's easy for Russell to find tenths as well going on the board. Megan.
On there, Russell still is the colour of Williams.
Oh, good spot, yeah. And yeah, they'll have to change that up
Though
then.
not on this one, on that.
So on our second timing monitor, it is a little bit different to what we're seeing.
Yeah.
7 monitors up in the commentary box to try and keep an eye on anything for you across the information. As the 2 Ferraris getting ready to head out. It's unusual, this. Nobody is going out. This is like a slow morning for everyone, or early evening for them. And I've had noticed as well that they are doing what they do in Singapore as well. They sleep later into the day. And because it's now a night race, so they sleep later into the day, wake up around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and head to the track for a 4 o'clock start. So it is a bit different now for the Formula 1 drivers. Sleep schedule's changing.
Why do I feel like Vettel looks a bit tired?
Vettel does look. I think they've been in.
still just shaking up.
Yeah, they've been in Bahrain now over a week. However, they have had to change their sleep schedule, as we were just saying.
He's just like,
yeah.
please, just let me go back to bed.
Well, the Formula 1 place is the Formula 1 driver's seat that's custom molded is the comfiest place on the planet as well. Because
I'm surprised he won't go to sleep. Just like, just let me
yeah,
sleep.
it's perfectly molded to your body shape as well. And I've heard that drivers have fallen asleep in cars during red flag periods because there's nothing to do but just sit there and just take it all in.
If I was them, I would be one of those people.
You certainly would be, wouldn't you? As this is Fittipaldi, He's doing a 56.249 lap time. He's top of the board at the moment, and he's the only one out there as Sky F1 take a break 6 minutes into the session. That must be some sort of new record for going to a break. But literally, nothing is happening out there. So do get in touch at Joshua Birch 99. That's Twitter and Instagram. Get in touch on the YouTube chat below as well. Megan's with us today, so she's got all of her data screens operational to keep an eye out what's happening. And get in touch and let us know, because I think we're going to have to fill quite a bit of time here before anybody heads out onto the track for some meaningful qualifying runs. It is going to be very, very dramatic. And I'm worried, actually, we're going to get a situation like we saw in Monza last year, where we are going to see the fact that they're all going to go out at exactly the same time and hold everybody up, because the tow here is so important, just like at Monza. So how long before we see a massive accident in qualifying? Similar to what we saw yesterday with Mick Schumacher and Roy Nizani making contact. Schumacher luckily avoiding a penalty with that one.
20, 30 minutes?
Q3 then. Q2, I reckon we'll see something in Q1. 20 cars heading out there, all trying to find pace as well. Qualifying is not one to be missed, and it is live here on YouTube with watch-along coverage getting underway at it's 4:45 UK time. We are on with the session starting at 5. Race tomorrow 4:30 for a build-up. Lights out at 5:10. Good morning to the board. Hello to Synthal on the board as well. Good morning, everybody. As you see, Megan's returned with us to the commentary box after her headache.
Hello.
All gone now, I presume?
Partly.
Yes, I'm going to say, if it wasn't all gone, maybe this isn't the best place wearing headphones with my voice screaming back at you.
Please, it's like a white noise machine.
Over the top back, yeah. But still.
If I can go to sleep as a baby with you around, then I can surely handle this.
That's a good point, yeah. It's a white noise machine.
There's actually a video of Joshua doing a commentary and me just screaming when I was a baby.
Yeah, that was European Grand Prix 2005. And I know the reason that exploded, because it was Kimi Raikkonen's tyre blowing up and Alonso winning the race.
And you were shouting very loudly, and I was just like, I want to go to sleep.
Well,
Obviously,
how old were you then?
Obviously, I didn't say anything.
You're like
because I was a
3
baby.
months old.
Yeah.
3 months old, and there's a video. And Megan's just screaming in the background. But this is the back time now, as we see. Fittipaldi's still the only car on the circuit as well. So, Megan, what do you make of all the situation then that's happened over the past week as well? Hamilton contracting COVID, Russell in at Mercedes, Aikins in at Williams, and Fittipaldi in at Haas. Let's start off. What do you make of Hamilton? Where do you think he caught the virus?
I don't know. I think...
We've all been discussing it. We can't find out where it was.
Okay, so it takes 2 weeks for symptoms to occur, though they get a test every single week.
Every single day almost, yeah. But you're
Every
right.
single
At the
day.
start of every week, you get a test, and you have 3 tests over the weekend.
So they have 3 tests over a week, and it didn't show up then.
No, it showed up on the Monday. And as you spotted, Lewis didn't hug and embrace everybody. It was elbow bumps with everyone on the race on
Which
Sunday.
meant he was slightly feeling under the weather.
Yeah.
So,
You think they knew, don't you?
yeah.
And just got lucky.
I think he either caught it on the practice of a qualifying,
Yeah, and it just showed up on the Monday, yeah.
and his symptoms showed quite quickly.
Yeah. So there's Jack Aitken sitting in his car, the 89, which is his racing number from the karting days. And also, as we believed, it was his year of birth for his girlfriend, Alex Thompson, who is the F1 digital creator as well, who works with the Paddock Club mainly as well. I know she's been over the moon this weekend of all the action that Jack has been producing out on the circuit. And of course, with the COVID bubble, they actually can't give each other a hug or anything because they're not in the same bubble, even though they do live together. When they're at a circuit, they're in different bubbles. It is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Yeah. I know.
Surely if they live together, we're in the same bubble.
I know. So after this is could be Jack's last race. So after this one, they're in the same bubble, and they are allowed to be in the same bubble effectively again. But we have also got to mention the fact that Aiken could race next weekend if Hamilton isn't fit enough. So Russell could take his seat again. But we do understand that Lewis is actually suffering a little bit more with COVID than Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez did. and it's taking longer for him to recover. So we are apologies to hearing that, and we hope he's okay going forward. Megan.
Max on the group has said, I heard he got it back in Britain before he got to Bahrain. The thing is, wouldn't he have shown still up on the test?
Yeah, he got the what? They got there last Thursday, and then they've still got tests over the weekend. So it's the incubation period, 2-3 days. He might have just got lucky over it. So he might, if he did catch it in Britain before he got here, then
he might have just got lucky.
Yeah,
it's showing up
over the race weekend. But as you did spot last weekend in the watch along commentary, he never hugged everybody. He just elbow bumped them all.
Which he never does. He usually does that.
Yeah, it's very unusual for Lewis. And he fist bumped Verstappen as well and a few of the others. So, yeah, good spot there from you, Megan, in a crazy race last weekend. But hopefully he's going forward. Lewis will either be back in Abu Dhabi or back in Australia for 2021, which is a long off-season for him. And 2 races out for the first time could be. I mean, this is the first time since 2006 that we haven't had Lewis Hamilton on the grid. The Brazilian Grand Prix of 2006 was the last time. That's when Schumacher first retired. And if it's the first time since the 1999 season that neither Schumacher or Hamilton have been on the grid. Yeah. First time since 1999 when Schumi broke his leg.
Jeez.
That there hasn't been a Schumacher or Hamilton in Formula 1. Two of the greatest of all time. And it was 21 years ago. Yeah.
Whoa.
And that was when Irvine versus Hakkinen for the title that year. And Salo was the teammate of Irvine. And yeah, 21 years since there's been a Hamilton or Schumacher on the grid.
There's now nobody on the grid.
Nope. This is also the first race since 1993, I believe, that the reigning champion has not been on the grid after a race in the same season. Because obviously you can count the fact that Prost retired in the end of 93 and went off going forward. But yeah, I think this is the first time since 93 the reigning champion hasn't been on the grid. Megan.
Also the first time this year when we've been live for a race that Hamilton won't win.
Yes, yeah, good point, Megan. Yeah, first time this year as well in our watch-long commentary that Lewis Hamilton would not be the winner. We did Silverstone live, the British Grand Prix, and Hamilton won on 3 wheels. Mugello, Hamilton won. Eiffel, Hamilton won. Portugal, Hamilton won. Emilia Romagna, Hamilton won. Turkey, Hamilton won, and Bahrain, Hamilton won. So 7 of his 11 victories this year, we've been live on YouTube, commentating them on all as well. And this weekend, it could be our 5th different winner in Formula 1. And if George Russell does win, it will be the 300th Grand Prix victory for a British driver. And it won't be Lewis Hamilton who wins it if Russell wins. We've got some good chats. Hello, Thomas. And Synthel says, do you think Russell will outqualify Bottas? Megan says, yeah, Megan's pretty much convinced.
I'm convinced because he's never been outqualified by a teammate, and if practice is anything to show us in 1 and 2, then he is much faster than Bottas is.
And as Hazel Southwell pointed out yesterday on Twitter, these times do count. And it's tricky to get a head around the fact that practice 1 and practice 2 times are actually quite important going forward. We have to remember, of course, that Bottas did set the fastest lap time yesterday but got it deleted. However, he did go off the track big time at turn 8 and gained a couple of extra tenths as well. So we'll have to see what Bottas has. But Russell, immediately in the psychological mind, is looking good. This might be the session that Bottas tops, actually, as Lando Norris is coming out of the pit lane to do a practice start.
Thomas says, who do you think will win the race tomorrow? I don't know. I think it's a mix-up between Russell, Bottas and Verstappen.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. It's Bottas, Russell or Verstappen, isn't it? Because I think Verstappen has been up there constantly, second fastest in both the sessions. And I don't know if Russell's got race pace in that car yet. I mean, yesterday
we'll have
was
to see
good,
at qualifying really how to tell that.
Synthel says it will be difficult because Bottas was driving this car all season and Russell is new to the car, so I think it'll be difficult. Yeah, exactly what I was just saying, yeah. I'm not sure if Russell's got the race pace, but
anything will tell in quali.
As we saw in the Formula 2 race just an hour or two ago, the fact is that Mazepin got in the front and comfortably led the way for quite a while until the pit stops, and Tsunoda ended up winning. But Mazepin got to the front at the start and led until the pit stops. So it's the overtaking at the pit stop for the leader that could see the changing of positions going forward. So it's going to be even more interesting. Lando Norris on the radio complaining something again with the floor still not right. Megan?
Who's your top 3 for qualifying?
Is that Thomas asking?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Who's top 3 for quali?
Ooh.
Can it be any order? Or does it have to be in 1, 2, 3?
No, any order.
Right.
Thing is, I'm thinking of 4 people.
That's top 4 then.
I know, but I'm thinking of 4 people because I can't decide between 2 of them.
Top 3 in qualifying. I mean, going out to practice times from yesterday, I would say top 3, Verstappen, Russell, Bottas.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I also... I'm thinking of Perez.
Perez up
Well,
there. Yeah,
he's always
he
up
was
there.
he was third fastest in practice 2 yesterday.
Perez is always near the top.
Perez is somewhere or thereabouts, isn't he,
Yeah.
going forward?
So
he's
it's
having a bad
difficult
time,
to tell.
Akash says, hey, where is the other man? He's okay. Yeah, Ian Birch will be joining us later on. This is Megan's time for FP3. She was supposed to be in FP2 yesterday, but Dad came in to help out at a very late stage because Megan came back and had a headache and couldn't be in the commentary box. So we switched them around because Dad was supposed to be back for FP3. But Megan joins me for this session, and I don't know what the qualifying situation is just yet, whether he'll be back for... qualifying, and he'll definitely be back for the race tomorrow. So
Yeah,
all
I
good
thought
there.
I'd give him a break.
Yeah, so you've generously come into the box. But yeah, Ian Birch, who's our dad, if you didn't know, if you're new to the broadcast, yeah, Ian Birch will be back later in the weekend as well. Here's Ricciardo on a lap time as we're finally getting cars out on the track. Ricciardo misses the apex of turn 1 on those hard compound tyre and gets it through 2 and 3. And he's got traffic in front of him, Megan. He's got Magnussen right there. And Ocon, they both pull out the racing line, but that's going to be a worry as well. Drivers on the qualifying laps as well, trying to overtake the back markers in Q1 and Q2. And that bumpy section, it was bumpy back in 2010. It's still bumpy in 2019, the outer loop section.
Simple says, do you think Fittipaldi or Atkin will get points tomorrow, and do you think one of them will go to Q2?
I think Fittipaldi might. I think both of them might just progress to qualifying too. Strong ankling on Aiken going through, and I think Fittipaldi stands a very good chance of getting points.
I agree
Because it's a crazy racetrack here, and it's difficult to predict whatever's going to happen. Fernando Alonso back in the Renault garage at the moment. That mask looks a little bit too tight for him. Looks like his nose has been squished. But Fernando Alonso having a bit of controversy as he's taking part in the young driver test at the end of the season in Abu Dhabi. But would you classify Fernando Alonso as a young driver? He's 40 years old with 2 world championships, and he's taking part in the young driver test. Don't really think that's all that right, but that's what pre-season testing's for.
He's my favourite driver. Mainly, partly because he was the driver of the year of my birth, and that's his first ever world championship.
5 and 6, yeah. Ricciardo's gone top, 55-3-1-1. Norris second, Magnussen, Vettel, Fittipaldi. Here comes Leclerc, fastest first sector. Good second sector, he's gone green and jumps to the top. 55-2-5-3 for him as well. As Giovinazzi goes 8th and moving out of the way, there was Raikkonen. And now we're starting to see times coming on the board as Ocon jumps to 5th place as well. That's a better time. And this is going to be interesting as well going forward. The getting out of the way on your slow lap is going to be more crucial than before. As Aitken runs a little wide coming out of turn 7. Megan, I'll field that one. Cash says, what happened in F2 today? Well, the start was interesting. No safety cars. A clean race around 48 laps. Mazepin took the lead at the start of the race. It was some good moves from Mazepin at the early stages, led until the pit stops. Callum Ilott dropped behind Schumacher. Schumacher finished 7th. He now has a 14-point advantage to Ilott in the championship, which means all it needs tomorrow is 1 point, and he's the champion. But Yuki Tsunoda took victory, but Nikita Mazepin really aggressive defending on the last few laps. From Djokovic as well, and Djokovic going off the track as Mazepin forced him off on the run up the hill towards turn 4, and Djokovic knocking over one of the polystyrene boards. It is currently being investigated by the stewards for dangerous driving, and Nikita Mazepin could be disqualified and banned from tomorrow's race. He feels he's that much because he was aggressively defending not only on that lap onto turn 4, but he was pushing every single car into the pit wall, and it was a very, very dangerous move. But what do you expect from Nikita Mazepin? Going forward as well, Tsunoda, who took victory, is also under investigation for an incident at turn 1. However, he was forced off the track, so we don't think anything will come with that one. And Guan Yu Zhou finished second. So the podium as it stands is Tsunoda, Guan Yu Zhou, and Nikita Mazepin as well. And the championship, Schumacher leads by 14 points. Megan.
Thomas says, will Hamilton be back next week? We are not that sure at the moment.
I say no.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't drive. I mean, look at everyone else in Formula 1 who's had COVID.
Stroll took 2 races out. Perez took 2 races out. It's
so
back-to-back as well. Hamilton will take this one out as well. I can't see him being back in Abu Dhabi. It'd be a miracle if he is. Russell on a lap time now as well on board, but Leclerc goes top, 55.253. Megan.
Unless Hamilton has like a really, really, really good immune system, then I don't think he's coming back.
He's suffering a bit more than the other drivers we've been hearing as well, so that's even worse.
He did also look quite spaced out at the podium.
Last weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
He woke up on Monday morning with slight symptoms, and on Tuesday, after a double test, they came back positive. So it's even worse news for him going forward. But Martin Brundle is up at turn 3, watching exactly actually where Romain Grosjean went into the barrier. It's exactly where Martin is standing as well. And they've put tyres alongside the barrier, which I think makes sense as well, because it's a bit more safer and he won't go through the Armco as well. But yeah, so Martin's standing right where the bonfire was a week ago.
Wherever you can see burnt grass, that is where it was.
Yeah, the sand around that area has turned to glass. It was that much of an inferno.
What? It turned to grass?
It did actually. I took over to actually say it was crystallising ever so slightly. It was that hot, and I wouldn't be surprised actually. So yeah, it takes a lot to burn sand into glass, and it was just starting to crystallise a little bit apparently. So
I'm so surprised he got out of that live.
Well, there's a fantastic documentary that Martin's done. I think it's been broadcast actually around the world as well. I honestly inform everyone, try and track that down over the weekend. Because
it's a documentary about how
Martin sat down with Romain Grosjean for 40 minutes, and an honest conversation about everything that happened in the past week is amazing. That's why Martin wasn't here yesterday. It's on little bits throughout the weekend, and the full thing will be on Sky Sports F1 on YouTube in the coming days as per usual.
I'm going to check whether it's on.
Perez, we've got all cars out on the track, bar Norris, Russell and Fittipaldi. Russell's come back in, not happy with the setup of the car. Norris hasn't gone back out yet, so needs to get out there. But we've got 35 minutes left, and we're seeing cars getting backed up as well on the racing line. That's Vettel getting past Gasly. Russell just saying we're having to compete with traffic, and they've told him to come through the pit lane. Practice start for Russell. So all looking better there as well. So we're just seeing, we're stuck with Martin Brundle at the moment on a different camera angle. So we can't explain what's happening on the circuit because we're having to look at the driver tracker. But, there we go. Now we finally go split screen vision. This is Sebastian Vettel coming into the last corner of turn 10. He's going to have a lap time, but he's got, I think, Latifi just in front of him, as well as Aitken, the two Williamses. And Vettel only manages a 15th fastest time of 55.919. Perez jumps to 9th ahead of Norris. So the top 10 looking pretty much usual, apart from Gasly, who's in 3rd place at the moment on a 55.252. So time's coming down at the moment. But this is fantastic as Bottas with the fastest time of 55.010. But crucially, Russell went fastest in both sessions with quicker than Bottas. So Bottas really on the back foot here if Russell sets a faster time, as we've now got Gasly blocking the entrance to turn 1. And that's caused off goes Verstappen. Spins out of turn 2, just like Sebastian Vettel did yesterday. Kicks up the exit corner and just drifts across the track.
I'm forever terrified now that one of them went.
Yeah, into the barrier.
I can only find a 10-minute one.
Okay, so that's only 10 minutes on there. But there is Verstappen just having a little spin. He's back on the track now. And he was on a good first corner, actually, as Ricciardo pits now. And Lance Stroll has a lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at turn 8. So Stroll's time has been deleted. This is how Verstappen did it coming out of turn 1. Turns into turn 2. Oh, gets the oversteer, tries to correct it, just spits him in the other direction towards the right. So turns into the left, corrects the oversteer, spits him to the right, and luckily avoids the gravel trap as yesterday Giotto found out in qualifying for Formula 2 that those gravel traps are actually deeper than they look, and he gets stuck.
Jeez.
Hearing multiple radios in our ear right now as, oh, look at that, Russell, bad sector 1. He got caught up in traffic, but his personal best in sector 2 over Bottas. Bottas sets the fastest of all in the first sector. Having to draw breath there. Here comes Russell then to the line. This should be fastest, and it is a 55.000, a 55 dead lap time from Russell.
I've got to take a photo of this. I've never seen a perfect...
He is exactly 10,000th of a second faster than Bottas, and Bottas has had a bad second sector. So now, who's going to be across the line? Bottas on a 54.880, a 10th faster than Russell. But now, Russell got compromised. Who's the fastest driver in Mercedes? This is incredible already.
Russell.
Both on the soft tyres as well. Well, that would have been a psychological blow to Russell this time around. But the first sector, Russell lost 0.2 of a second, gained that back so much in sector 2 and 3.
Kvyat not that far behind.
Yeah, 0.2 now back. Kvyat does a 55.144, goes up to third. I think we could see Russell here having a very good shot at pole position.
We can see Valtteri going quite slowly right now. Oh, and he impeded track limits just then. It's like he's not even trying.
Has that time been deleted? No,
I don't know.
No, it hasn't. No.
Because he just impeded track limits. He didn't even try to not go on it.
Yeah, so this is him on a cool-down lap, but he's got to watch it as well because he can't have his lap times deleted elsewhere. So, on board with Lance Stroll, coming through turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, he impeded track limits.
Up the hill. This is where they're looking, actually, at the top of the June section, where they impede track limits around this part. Albon's talking about some oversteer as well, and the cars are drivable at the rear. Look at the bumps coming in.
Unbelievable, this traffic.
That's from Verstappen. Well, as I said, Jack Aitken said yesterday, if you separate all cars out the track in Q1, you only have free air of 3 seconds. And everybody's going to go out together in order to get the tow. Qualifying all sessions is just going to be unbelievable. Especially Q1. You do not want to miss qualifying later here on YouTube at 5 o'clock UK time. Megan.
I just find it so funny that...
Oh, sorry, of course, you've got 3 cars having to dive out the way of the pit lane. And it's Verstappen, Gasly, and it's Kvyat, Albon, Stroll and Aitken all going 4 abreast, blocking the entrance to turn 1. Nobody wants to be out there first. Everybody having to avoid traffic. Here's Verstappen. Finally, he's in free air. He's got ahead of Gasly, and Giovinazzi's the one in front of him. Megs.
It's seriously like they're talking about a red light on like normal cars.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can't believe this traffic. You normally think that when there's a red light and you're trying to go to the shop.
Unbelievable as we head down. Here comes Verstappen then into turn number 10. Trying to go flat out. Acceleration up now. Now, good first sector. He's gone green. Yellow sector 2, so that's not the best time. But this might get him third fastest. It does. A 55.091. Thomas asks, have you ever been to Silverstone to watch a race there? Yes, I have. I covered the 6 hours of Silverstone on Facebook Lives back in 2018. And it was a 6 hours around Silverstone with cars. Best way to spend a Sunday.
I have never been. We were going to go this year.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Silverstone this year.
Happened,
yeah. So. The initial plan for Silverstone's this year, watch-long commentary like we're doing now, was to have Ian Birch here in the commentary box and me and Megan, so he would act as lead comms around watching the TV pictures if we missed anything. And on the Friday, me and Megan would be at the circuit for practice with all big headphones, microphones and belt equipment like you see Ted Kravitz wearing, and we'll be out there broadcasting as well with a camera and sending it back onto YouTube as well. Sadly, that hasn't happened for obvious reasons with COVID, and it was a closed event, so that might have to wait another year or so to get back because it doesn't look like we'll be able to do it next year either. Bottas first sector. There should be traffic lights on the track for this configuration. That's what you were talking about, actually, with red lights as well.
Traffic lights.
Well, I think, actually, they should have done single-lap qualifying for this track. It's 55 seconds. It would have just taken about 20 minutes. You should have done single-lap qualifying, personally, for this one. But we stick with the group qualifying. Bottas across the line, 4/10 now. The gap between him and Russell. Bottas' time of 54.523. Russell is 4/10.5 off of his time, but Russell got impeded a lot in that last sector.
Let's hope that is not now.
Indeed, yeah. Russell is not on the track, is he? He's in the pit lane. Yeah, Russell's in the pit lane at the moment, so
he's never been out qualified, so at least he's keeping up that. But hope he keeps up speed for quali.
Yeah, 28 minutes and 18 seconds to go then. A lot of work going on at Renault now on the front. That looks like the air intake on the inside of the floor. A lot of problems there for... Is that Danny Ricciardo? Yes, it is.
It looks like they're all being very cautious now after Grosjean's crash.
Well, you spotted it as well. It was a puncture that caused the accident because he went over Sainz's front wing debris. And as soon as that happened, he lost control of the car and flew into the wall after touching with Kvyat. So it was a puncture, we think.
Yeah, and Kvyat just saved himself
of
from the same fate.
Of course, it's impossible to tell now because the car exploded and everything went left and right, so you can't tell exactly what caused it.
Kvyat almost went with him.
Kvyat almost did go with him, yeah. Who is top in FP3? Well, there you are. Bottas. Bottas is top on the board. There's a timing screen just there. I know it's basic, but we're working on it to try and get more in. But Bottas is top at 54.523. Russell second at the moment. Oh, corner analysis,
Both of them are.
Yeah. This is getting very interesting now as Russell and Bottas comes into the pit lanes. That's pretty much them done as everyone now comes in together to have more lap times backed up. We're going to be in an interesting situation now, aren't we? So, let's have a little look. We're stuck on the Mercedes garage on this picture. Don't want to look at that. Ocon comes back out on the track. Come on, show us Albon. He's on the lap time. Albon at the moment, well, he's on a slow down lap actually, so don't count much with Albon there.
It's focusing on Russell's car now.
Russell's having a lot of work done to the rear as well. Just trying to get that car perfectly set up for him going into qualifying as well. Perez actually, where is he? Down in 10th place at the moment. Might not have a chance for quali. Kvyat says he got blocked to the last corner by Ocon.
I wonder how they choose the numbers for the cars.
Personal preference of the driver. So that is the driver's preference for the race number.
So they all chose it?
Yes, they did, yeah.
So Vettel chose 5.
Yes.
Hamilton chose 44. Why did they all choose these numbers? Were they like their favourite numbers or something?
Yes, and the previous racing numbers when they were in karting. Lewis is 44 because he was 44 in karting. Yeah.
What about Bottas?
Bottas chose 77, I believe, for the same reason, karting. Esteban Ocon's gone off the track, lost his fastest lap time. That's why Kvyat said he was impeded. This is Albon up at the hill. Albon, track time deleted as well at turn 8, ran off as well. So Albon's time, which briefly put him up into third ahead of Verstappen, has been deleted, so he's down to 8th. So Sky F1 go on an ad break. We still have 7 monitors to watch as well, but none of them with another TV picture feed, unfortunately. So we're on the timing screen. Albon's on another lap and not going that well. Kvyat was a personal best, sector 1 and 2, before getting blocked in the third sector. He's out there with Gasly now. Norris out there as well. Sainz, I believe, is coming back out soon. But this is getting very close and chaotic now, isn't it? Who's going to be the first one to break? Who's going to be the first one to say, I'll have that, I'll do that? It's going to be fun. In terms of tyres, Verstappen, Gasly and Kvyat out there on hard compound, the same as Ricciardo, Ocon and Vettel. They're all out there on the hard tyres at the moment. Nobody out there on many set of mediums, but only 2 of Perez and Stroll. So the 2 Racing Points going mediums. They're going to see what times they can get through for qualifying number 2. Of course, tomorrow the pit stops are going to be way more important than the actual race itself, because as we saw in the Formula 2 race, it's like an oval. It's not an oval. I hate people saying that, but it's a roval. Road course in the shape of an oval. So it is pretty much flat out all around the circuit. We saw in Formula 2 this morning, you can follow a car behind for about 7 laps and your tyres would have gone down minimal and you still can't get through with the overtake. So it's all going to be down to the pit stops tomorrow for an overtake, just like we see in IndyCar. In fact, Formula 2 reminded me a lot of IndyCar this morning as well. So it's going to be interesting. Qualifying coming up later. That will be the biggie, because I'm so looking forward to qualifying. I'm looking forward to qualifying more than the race. That's how much, because I saw Formula 2's quali yesterday and I thought, yeah, that's going to be Formula 1. Let's see. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We need to put decorations up in here.
Well, where would you suggest putting Christmas decorations?
I don't know.
No, you're talking quietly again. But yeah, this is the last 2 races of the year, taking part in December. The season finishing on December the 13th, the latest it has done since 1963, when it finished in South Africa on Boxing Day, I believe. So I feel sorry for the drivers who had to spend it in South Africa, really, not with their families. Very weird. Can you imagine now having qualifying or a race on Christmas Day?
No.
I mean, personally, I think we might be murdered by our family for not being in the house on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. So, yeah, very much good that they removed that in the 60s. Of course, we had one thing in 1976, the fact that the season started on January the 1st in Sao Paulo.
Yeah. New Year's Day.
No, but that means the season was 1975, 1976. Because it started on deck 30th to get to Jan 1.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm gonna just Google that because I think I've got my dates wrong. But I know one season starts on Jan 1. It might be January the 9th, I'm thinking, for 1976. Hang on, I've got the calendar in front of me now.
My reminders are telling me to do my personal statement.
I hate personal statements.
You're going to have to help me with that.
25th of January. 25th of January for the Brazilian Grand Prix of 1976. Then a big gap to the 6th of March for South Africa. And then nothing in April until we got to Spain. Three races in May.
Season ended in October.
The season ended on the 24th of October in Japan, obviously. But still, seriously? See, we never end. Usually now we start in March and go until December. I mean, this one has been 5 months to get around Europe and Middle East Asia as well to get this season done. Is Albon struggling? Well, he had a lap time deleted.
Stay on the track, yeah.
He's in 8th place, but he had a lap time deleted. He was briefly up into 3rd place, so Albon will be up there if he can stay on the track. So don't worry about too much with Albon. He was inside the top 3 at the previous lap time, so he's going to have a very good time. This is Sebastian Vettel then coming into the last corner of turn 11. Fires it up to the line. Sounding okay out there, isn't it, Megan, the Ferrari engine this time? Second fastest, 54.858 as he hurtles in towards turn number 1. Light on the feather with throttle, isn't it? That's very good. Yeah, Vettel P2. 54.858 splits the two Mercedes, and he's still 3/10 off of Verstappen though, of Bottas though. But that's okay. That's quite good.
I've never noticed that he has a German flag on his helmet. It's pretty cool.
It's always on there.
I've never noticed it. I like the
Well,
way
to be fair,
looks.
we haven't really been watching Sebastian Vettel much this year, have we?
No.
The three moments I can think out in my head where I've talked about Vettel more. Styria, where he got taken out by Leclerc. Probably Turkey with the podium. And I think now with the third. I think there's only been 2 actually thinking about it. I've talked about Vettel much this year. I'm sure some of our avid listeners will be watching. Oh no, Monza. Monza does because he had a shocker in Monza once again. This is again a lap recap with Vettel. Down towards turn number 1, down from 8th gear all the way to 2nd, through the tricky little chicane going up there.
Seb needs to improve next season. What's your thoughts? I agree. He does need to improve.
He'll have the car to do so next year in Aston Martin.
Yeah, he will.
Racing Point becoming Aston Martin, of course. And that's going to be a B car to Mercedes. So
it's going to be confusing with
he needs an engine.
Red Bull.
Yeah, needs an engine. Well, no, they leave. Aston Martin Red Bull Racing will become Red Bull Racing. Yeah, Aston Martin become their own team. Much similar to how Red Bull became their own team, because it was Sauber Red Bull for years. Sebastian said, do you want to go one more with double cool down? And Sebastian saying, yes, may as well, because we've got free air, and it's very rare. And he has. It's a good point. Double lap, free air, no one in front of him. And Bottas coming on the track now as well.
Also, apparently he's a poet.
Yeah, apparently. Also, we've got to point out as well, double cool-down laps because it's only a 55-second lap time. That's going to mean that qualifying, they're going to be out there for longer, but more dramatic as well. we could be seeing a lot of red flags in qualifying later on.
Here comes both Mercedes of Bottas and Russell. That's on to say.
Brand new tyres as well coming out. So now it's all going to be about who's got the fastest right foot to hit the accelerator pedal. So now Bottas has got the lap time. Aitken's coming out on the track as well. Russell ahead of Bottas. Aitken there too. This is it. This is it. This is going to be so close now to find out what's going to happen. Who's your prediction for top of this session?
I'm hoping for Russell.
Yeah. 18 minutes to go. It's going through. Eric, welcome to the chat, saying, come on, Russell, you can do it again.
Yeah.
Russell could do Grand Slam.
You better.
If for those of you who don't know, Grand Slam, top every single session of FP1, 2 and 3. Top all of qualifying, 1, 2 and 3. Set every single lap time in the race, lead every lap, and set the fastest lap at the end of it as well.
Has that ever been done?
The last person to do it was Danny Ricciardo to have Grand Slam back at the 2018 Monaco Grand Prix. Jim Clark famously did 7 Grand Slams.
Jeez.
I think it might be 13 now, thinking about it.
Why don't people call him one of the greatest people?
They do.
Good.
I know many people call Jim Clark the greatest driver of all time, even better than Fangio, Schumacher and Hamilton. And honestly, I do rank Jim Clark very highly up on my Formula 1 greats.
Have the other 3 ever done that many Grand Slams?
No, Schumacher, I think he's only had 4 Grand Slams in his career.
It's obviously not as good as
I'm just going to cut across you there, Megs, because Bottas is currently 4/10 faster on his own best lap time. We could be seeing the first of the 53 lap times. So we were... Oh, he's gone wide in the last corner. He's taken too wide on the exit curve, and that's it. His lap time's gone. Cross the line. He still goes faster, though, at 54.2, but it could have so easily been a 53.9. Russell comes across the board now and goes second, and he's still 3/10 down. So Bottas has found something to Russell there. But then again, as Murray Walker used to say, catching is one thing, passing is quite another in the race. Megan.
It is. Though I hope that Russell really, really hurries up.
He's got another... They're going to do a double cool-down lap, and then they're going to get Jack Aitken to 15th on a 55.670. So that could be Aitken going forward into qualifying 2. That would be fantastic. And this is Bottas once again. This is him at the last corner. Gets a bit of oversteer. Gets on the exit curb. Much similar to Albon a week ago.
How did that make him actually go faster?
I know. It's also it's like a Skeletric, isn't it? But he's all 4 wheels off the track. The stewards are going to delete that lap time for sure. Because if they need to do it for fairness of everybody else. Nothing on my screen at the moment saying that the lap time will be deleted. But surely it must be. It must be. Must be. Can't see why not. So, at the moment then, Bottas has done 13 laps. Russell has done 12 laps. You can see that on your monitor as well, on the timing graphics there. Bottas has done 12 laps. 13 now. He's just clicked over to cross the time. So has Russell. They're getting on a cool lap.
I feel like this day's gone really quick. But then again, I refused to get out of bed until 11, didn't I?
Yes. Yeah.
No matter how much you tried to wake me up.
Not my fault.
Yeah.
We had work to do.
I'm surprised I didn't throw something at you, actually. I've done that before.
We had work to do. Well, I had work to do. I had the race at 12 for Formula 2 to watch. Eric saying, nice lap for him. Aitken. Yeah, very nice. Oh, hang on a minute. Where did that come from the TV? The TV's gone 13th.
He's just like, if my teammate is not here, I shall be the best.
55.493 for Aitken, and this is looking interesting from Vettel. He's out of the car, and the mechanics immediately around as well to fix something. They're taking the engine cover off, the floor's coming off as well, so massive problem for Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari, and he was looking so good. He's 4th in this session with Leclerc 3rd. And Megan, one of your famous lines that everybody loves you for. We've got Mercedes 1, 2, Ferrari 3, 4, so go for it.
I can't remember.
It's Mercedes, Mercedes.
It's Mercedes, Mercedes, Ferrari, Ferrari.
That's one of your famous lines that everybody knows you for. You couldn't remember it.
No, because I didn't look at the board.
Yeah, it's Mercedes, Mercedes, Ferrari, Ferrari. And that is about to be Bottas, I believe, going a bit slow. It's George Russell. Sorry, Martin's moved positions. He's down at turn 10 and 11 now.
To be honest, I say a lot of things.
You do, yeah. That's Russell. Here comes Latifi just behind him. Leclerc's coming in. There's Sainz as well. Magnussen's going to pass him on the inside. And, Sainz very slow as well. These Formula 1 cars looking extremely slow when cooling down as well to gear up for a lap time. This is almost... I do like when Martin's out on the side of the track as well, because it reminds me so much of pre-season testing. Honestly, I'd suggest to everybody as well. If you can't afford to get out to a Grand Prix, because they're very expensive, get out to pre-season testing. It's either in Barcelona or I think next year it's actually in Bahrain, but Barcelona, pre-season testing. You pay about 20 quid, get in the track, go around every single corner, just like Martin Brundle's doing now, and you can see the cars pounding around the track all day as well. It is absolutely fantastic, and the weather's usually glorious.
Do you know
I enjoyed it last year. Yeah.
That Russell's quite fast around corners.
Yeah, Russell's taking a lot more speed to the corners compared to Bottas. Bottas tends to lift off a lot more. Russell is more full throttle. That's what I've been noticing as well. As everyone now, Bottas just to the top of the hill. That's Russell again coming to the last corner. Russell now on an attack lap. He's got Magnussen behind him. And Leclerc just in front of him. Here comes Giovinazzi to do a practice start into the pit lane. Raikkonen doing so as well. Yeah.
What happened there?
Just doing some buy point finding as well. And he's smoking at the rear tyres. The burnouts to the grid. And this is Verstappen into the June section. Yeah, into the S's at turns 7 and 8. This is the exit that everyone's watching as well.
Ooh.
Megan.
Russell did not have
Hang on. Norris.
Oh.
Lando Norris goes second at 54.606. Russell's third.
Russell did not have a very good lap time then.
No, his personal best sector 2, but down in sector 1. So I'm going to say something now, by the way, that Megan would get immediately. She's going to get very excited about because I'm going to mention it now before I forget. Megan, qualifying later, 18 minutes, 15 minutes and 12, we could have another pole sitter in Formula 1. That would be a record breaker as well, obviously, but it'll be a record breaker in number of poles in the season for different drivers. So there you go. So how about that then? Here comes Verstappen, because we had Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen and Stroll, and now we can have a 5th pole sitter as well as 5th different winner. As Verstappen's now on a lap time as well. Then again, my prediction for pole was Verstappen, and he could be up there, but Norris has gone second. McLaren have found something, because look at that. Sainz goes into 5th, but Alexander Albon goes into 3rd on a 54.629. So I did say, don't worry, Cash in the YouTube chat. Albon's up to 3rd, looking good, but fastest second sector of all comes Verstappen, but he finally pulled something off the steering wheel there into the braking zone for turn 10, compromised himself in the exit with oversteer, but this could be a good time for Verstappen. It is a good time for Verstappen at 54.064. So, 2/10 fastest. So, Hamilton's away, the Verstappens will play. He's top of the board.
And what I've noticed is that, look at Gasly.
Where is he?
And then blink.
Where is Gasly? 10th place. What about him?
He's going really fast.
Gasly's 3rd! Gasly's 3rd across the board! Gasly at 54.427 goes into 3rd place. That AlphaTauri having some pace here. And now Russell's 6/10 off the pace, same as Bottas yesterday. Stroll starts a time. And now, with 10 minutes to go, with all cars coming on the track, this is what we get to see in qualifying. And we've got a big gaggle of cars of, well, who is it? It's Ocon, Giovinazzi, Sainz and Albon all together on the line. Stroll down a 10th in the first sector. 10 minutes to go in practice 3. Everyone's out there, and everyone's going to give it the beans now. Megan?
I would advise Russell take a break for a bit.
Where is he? Russell 4th at the moment. Yeah, Russell's taking a break off as well. Stroll onto the track, 6/10 down, and he's trying to get the toe, but Stroll's having a nightmare here at the moment. Wow. Maybe the conditions of the track change for good because they're improving. That's from Eric. Yeah. Well, it rained overnight as well. No, it's now night again, but it rained as well, and it washed the track just a little bit, but it dried out incredibly quickly for the Formula 2. Times coming across the board. Here comes Perez now. He's 16th at the moment. Jumps up to P7 on a, I can't see, 54.678. Albon's dropped down to the order. Ocon goes 4th. Ocon with a very nice lap time on a 54.453. Perez a 54.678. Stroll 9th, 54.693. But Ocon with a very nice time there on the board. So now it's Verstappen, Bottas, Gasly, Ocon, Norris top 5, Albon, Russell, Perez, Stroll, Sainz top 10, Giovinazzi, Leclerc, Vettel, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Latifi, Fittipaldi and Aitken down in last. And that is up in the jacks now. The floor's off, the engine cover's off. Sebastian Vettel will not be out in the radio of this session. Something big going on down at Ferrari. And it looks to me it might have to be an engine change. That's the last thing Ferrari needed for Sebastian Vettel as well. And Leclerc's remaining in the garage too. Here comes Ricciardo to start a lap time.
I don't like how slow Russell's being.
Where is he?
7th.
7th at the moment.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's got he's 6 tenths off the pace exactly to Verstappen.
What's
8
he
minutes
with
to go.
being exact right now?
I know, 55-second dead lap time a couple of moments ago.
And exactly
Yeah.
6/10 off a point.
Bottas is down. Sorry, Ricciardo's down in order as well. He's dropped. Oh, it's big off the grass as well. Into the sand dunes. Over the curb at turn 6, similar to Vettel yesterday, and jumps across.
And yet he's faster.
Yeah. He'll have his lap time. He's lost a second now, so he'll lose some time. And hopefully it didn't damage the floor. Although it looks like the floor's damaged. It's sparking a lot, so Renault might have to change their floor as well. Bit of understeer at the exit, but this is Ricciardo surely going to have to go for a cool-down lap.
He's damaged the floor.
Yeah. Cool-down lap now. Looks like it's sparking in places that we haven't seen other cars do it, but wow. This is the second of 3 night races in Formula 1. Next time out in Abu Dhabi, it's a twilight race, but more of it is spent in the night.
What did Ricciardo make
This is it.
Cyril get?
It hasn't been done yet. He's not out. Cyril People's not having the tattoo done until after the season. He might just whimper out of it as well because Ricciardo won't be there. So a simple run wide onto the sand dunes then for Ricciardo. And just sparking across as well. Lucky not to damage the front wing there. This is Russell, Megan, into turn 1. What did he do? Locked up the front, yeah. Sorry, Megs. I think I threw it to you and then I answered it. Yeah. And that's his second mistake he's made all weekend.
In you, Russell.
It's only his second mistake he's made all weekend, though.
It doesn't matter. Right. Is this Ricciardo? Yeah. Ricciardo, yeah. I can see the 3. I wonder why he chose his number.
Vettel.
Vettel.
Yeah, out of the session, out of the car in his jeans.
Oh. Looks very comfortable.
And that is him done for practice. And he's got 2 hours now to fix that car going into qualifying. Can it be done? Can he do it? That's going to be a question.
Oh, yeah, it's 2 hours. I kept thinking it was at 4 o'clock.
No, it's at that's our coverage starts at 4:45 p.m. UK time. Commentary the session starts at 5.
What time does the sun go down here?
47 minutes time.
Oh, it's going to be very, very dark. Oh.
3:45, yeah. 3:41 sunset here in the UK.
No, just look at...
Oh, rain, cloud, yeah, always. There's Fernando Alonso.
Should have seen it yesterday, pouring it down.
Fernando Alonso then watches on, finally realises he's on television and goes back a little bit. So, 5 minutes to go. Everyone's back in the pit lane. Sorry, 2 seconds. Kvyat asking why is Sainz cutting the chicane? Is he allowed? And the stewards, and his team saying no, he's not allowed to cut the chicane. So that's probably just to get out of the way of lap times. So Alexander Albon doing it yesterday. This is Gasly into turn 2 and 3. Got held up massively by a Racing Point on the racing line. And he puts his hand on the car saying, what on earth are you doing? It was Perez. It was Perez who held him up. And that's what we're going to see a lot in qualifying as well, Megan. Cars going to be blocking everybody left and right. And they're going to have to back up as well. This is so much going to be a fun qualifying.
Do you know what I would do if I got a really good lap time?
Right.
Purposely just get a... It's like, oh, I accidentally impeded the line. Oh, sorry, gotta take this lap time off. Oh, yeah, I'm still really good on lap time, aren't I?
Penalties.
Yay.
Albon saying still so much understeer. That's what Ian Birch was talking about yesterday, the fact that the car's set up more for Verstappen, who likes the understeer. Albon and Gasly don't as their driving style. So Dad was right there.
They just look at him just like, how can you like this?
Yeah, it'd be a bit dramatic, isn't it?
He's just like, yay, it's fun. They're just like, we don't know him.
Just correcting the car as Kvyat goes up there and does a 54.850. And Kvyat goes into 12th place at the moment. Megan.
Right, Verstappen is top with Bottas second, third Gasly. I'm not going to read out the rest of the grid because it's constantly changing. It's worse than a race. I really hope Russell would actually get out of the pit, and I hope they're actually doing something to fix his car, because if he doesn't do it,
I don't think it's damaged. I think he's just he can't find the pace on the lap time.
I think
he's struggling
something's damaged. What the?
That is Verstappen doing a practice start. Renault coming to do it as well at the exit of turn. The exit of the pit lane actually. At the entrance to turn 1, Stroll coming in as well. So now we're going to have to wait again. 3 minutes 15 left of this session.
Oh, and Leclerc's doing a practice start as well, apparently.
Yep, Verstappen's heading back out there. Stroll's been called at the weighbridge, I believe, because he's stopped there. So that's going to that's him session done actually. So that's Stroll's session done. This is Gasly down in towards turn 1. He's on the pitch straight. Oh, having to get out of the way of one of the Renaults.
Sparking.
Yeah, that was getting out of the way of Ocon and through. Oh, it's Ricciardo, sorry, yeah.
Ricciardo,
the front wing again, yeah.
Yeah, but he's also got damage to his flooring. Look, it's literally just being dragged across the ground.
And that's a new. Yes, that needs fixing ahead of qualifying as well. That'll probably be a new floor. Something was damaged when he went off the track at the top of the hill, so he's got to watch that. He's run off the chicane as well. He tried to take it, but couldn't turn the car in. So, it's got Ocon in front of him. There's the inside of the track, just dimly lit now. The inner part of the track, the outer circuit getting the full light effect. I still think we should have raced on the endurance one.
I would have liked it better.
This outer one looks a bit too dangerous for me, and I'm not looking forward to qualifying. Yeah,
that's the word I'm looking for.
Too tight, yeah. I think the qualifying is going to be the most dramatic part. The race tomorrow.
Also, look at the pit lane.
Yeah. Oh, the pit lanes. This pit lane's the same one as last weekend.
I know. Though I thought last weekend it was
bigger.
Just so tight.
Yeah. Well, the red flag came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like literally one car can fit on that.
No room for overtaking, yeah. So the other big pit lanes, like in Malaysia, for instance.
Surprised it didn't crash already.
There is a rumour that Malaysia could rejoin the calendar in 2021 in that to be confirmed slot. So we could have Malaysia back, but maybe it's a night race. As Sepang has just installed lights around its circuit. So Malaysia could become a night race, which I would love.
Should we be concerned about Kvyat because his car was just sparking so much going out?
Nah, be fine. Fittipaldi just saying he's overdriving the last corner a lot. That is Verstappen done for the session. 1 minute 10 seconds. He's done for FP3. We'll end it top. Russell's on an out lap. In fact, he's just crossing the line now. Bottas is exiting the pit lane now as well. Russell's into the pit lane, and that's him done for the session.
Yeah, and he's got a rubbish
point. That was just an out lap for Russell, so he's lost time as well. So Russell will not set a time in this session anymore. He ends at P7. So going into qualifying, it is Verstappen versus Bottas, it seems, but surely Russell can find something. Don't forget they'll have party. They'll turn the engine up going into qualifying, which you are allowed to do into qualifying. Then it stays with you that mode for qualifying in the race.
Oh, and apparently he wants to do an out lap.
Yeah, he's going to do a practice start. May as well. He needs as many starts as he can in that car, so he doesn't stall it on the grid tomorrow.
His
so
tyres
this is good.
are basically destroyed right now.
Yeah, they're going to rev him up for 14 seconds left. He's going to have to hurry up because, there we go. Russell X is the pit lane now.
There's something on his tyre.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit of sticker. But I was going to say, because if he didn't get out of the pit lane before the red light comes on, Vettel off! And he's in the middle of the track at the last corner. Where is he? Sorry, it's Leclerc. Apologies, the computer got it wrong. It's Charles Leclerc off at the last corner. Of course it's not Vettel. Vettel's out of the session. Yeah, it's Leclerc. Sorry about that.
I was
Leclerc's spinning.
Since when did he come back?
Yeah, Leclerc's spinning at the last corner as the checkered flag comes out. So nobody else improving. Looked like he cooked it at the last corner. So sorry with that. It's Leclerc, not Vettel. The computer got it wrong on the graphic that popped up on the monitor.
Oh, he just gets a bit of oversteer.
No, yes, and he also lost it on acceleration over the curbs, it looked like, as well.
Yeah, it also looks like he kind of locked up.
Yeah, so loads of things there. Let's have a look in from off-board, Megan. Yeah, as you said, the oversteer kicked him off the track. Tried to put the power down, lost it over the curbs with the understeer as well,
causing him to lock up there.
Yeah, and all fours locked up, so that's a soft gone. This is Bottas coming across it. There's a Ferrari right in the middle of the track. That is the scariest position on a Formula 1 track to be. Sideways with a straight and oncoming traffic out of a blind corner.
I bet Bottas was just like, what the hell has happened when I've been gone?
Yeah, what happened on the 50 seconds I was going around on the track? So, Verstappen tops the session from Bottas, Gasly, Ocon, Norris, Albon, Russell, Perez, Stroll and Sainz. Megan, take the bottom 10.
11th for Giovinazzi, 12th Kvyat, 13th Leclerc, 14th Ricciardo, 15th Vettel, 16th Raikkonen, 17th Magnussen, 18th Latifi, 19th Fittipaldi, 20th Aitken.
Not a bad session overall. Here's your tip for pole position then, Megan. Looks like my bet Verstappen's looking good. What about you?
I like Verstappen too, though Bottas is doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? As the cars come back into the pit lane now. As we look at the Bahrain outer circuit, here's the official session results we were just talking about. Verstappen fastest on the soft compound tyre. The only car to do a time on the mediums was actually Alexander Albon. He set his fastest time on medium tyres. But yeah, Verstappen, Bottas, Gasly, the top 10 all separated by 0.6 of a second. But look further down, it's actually 15 cars separated by 0.7 of a second. And the whole field separated by 1.6 seconds, the closest of the year so far. That's going to be interesting coming into the qualifying later.
Yeah.
So, Fittipaldi, 19th, Aitken 20th. Both their teammates out-qualifying them at the moment. Not that much, though, I'd add. Only by 1/10 of a second. Megan?
Also, may I just add, Latifi is not in last place.
No, Latifi isn't last. Jack Aitken is again for the third session in a row, but he's got to take time to get used to it. So, we'll be back. Saturday practice review comes up just before the start of our live build-up to qualifying. So I think that's on 4:20. And then again, join us for all of the action for qualifying. 4:45 UK time for qualifying. And the race get underway tomorrow, 4:30 build-up with our transmission for the race commentary. Same programme. That's underway at 5:10 as well. Megan, moment of the session?
Probably Leclerc spinning.
Seems to be. Interesting FP3. Qualifying is next. From us all here. See you in a couple of hours. Bye for now.